Well, can you believe it? 1,000 days of full-time travel around Australia. It's been a wild ride and we've had some incredible moments, and we're going to be sharing a lot of those with you in this one, as well as answering all your questions that you guys had of us. And Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, you guys threw a heap of questions at us. We're going to get through as many of those as we can. Heaps to share with you in this one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for watching the ads, guys. As you know, 10% of all the YouTube revenue from our channel goes to charity. Really appreciate your support.
And exciting news as well for our 1,000-day video. We've got a giveaway worth over $1,000 from our mates at Bluetti. They've thrown us a brand new power unit that you haven't seen before. It's new to the Australian market. It's the AC70, and we've got one to give away. Details at the end of this video, so stick around for that as well.
All right, let's dive back in time and recap for some of the adventures we've had.
In March 2021, we quit our jobs and sold our house and most of our belongings and packed what we had left into our trusty Ford Ranger before picking up our first caravan. The goal wasn't to go on holiday, it was to create a life we didn't need a holiday from. The Great Ocean Road was a great location to cut our teeth on this caravanning caper, but the outback was calling. We'd explored the Flinders Ranges in outback South Australia before and knew it would be the perfect stepping off point for our off-grid outback travel adventures. Home to some of the most incredible views and camping in the country, it's not hard to see why we fell in love with the incredible geological and cultural significance of these ranges and their secrets. With Alice Springs in our sights, we decided to take the long way around and tackle some of the world's most isolated and remote roads and towns. It was months of dust, sand and flies, but we had the time of our lives, and the outback is one of Australia's regions where we feel most at home. We soon worked out that fresh milk and coffee was rarer than hen's teeth, and that there's not many things that cable ties, 100-mile-an-hour tape and a few tech screws can't fix. When we finally did arrive in Alice Springs, we'd never been so grateful to see a tar road or major supermarket, but that entire region had left a mark on us that will never be forgotten. We'd been looking forward to visiting the West MacDonnell Ranges for years. Despite having two young boys in tow, we were determined to explore as much as possible. As a family, we fell in love with hiking as we ventured into the gorges, crevices and waterholes, but it's never straightforward to encourage a 2- and 5-year-old to tackle what must seem like an impossible and pointless challenge to them. It was around this time that our first ever YouTube episode went live, and we were ecstatic that over 100 people had watched our first ever video. Although I'm pretty sure that most of them were just family and friends who hadn't been in contact with us for weeks because we'd been out off the grid. But the season was changing and it was time to head north. Now the Northern NT has some of the best freshwater swimming that we've seen, and it's littered with what feels like oases in the desert. Despite its incredible cultural significance and spectacular wetland cruise, we left Kakadu disappointed and decided to head for Litchfield National Park. With more waterfalls and swimming holes than you can poke a stick at, mixed with some cracking hikes and four-wheel drive tracks, Litchfield is one of the highlights of our travel, and it's high on the list of places that we want to return to. As we ventured west, an unexpected delay in Keep River National Park was the first time that the mighty ranger had let us down, and we were left temporarily stranded. But that spawned the beginnings of an idea. Something starting with toy and rhyming with bruiser. With a newfound love of hiking and passion for the outback and remote travel and diving into secluded freshwater swimming holes, we didn't even consider skipping the notorious Gibb River Road. This is another region of Australia where we instantly fell in love. Despite being late in the season, we tackled as many of the hikes and waterfalls and stations as we possibly could. We've got so much more we want to explore in the Kimberley, so don't be surprised if you see us back here in the near future. We've barely scratched the surface of this remarkable and ancient area. We beach hopped our way down the WA coast to Karajini and once again were awed by the beauty and diversity of our incredible country. Karajini National Park and the surrounding Pilbara region sit solidly in our top 5 places in Australia. Make sure you put this one on your list. In complete contrast to the iron-rich red of the Pilbara, the Ningaloo coast welcomed us with its remarkable turquoise waters. Here we got to share our love of being under the ocean with the boys and taught them to snorkel. The Ningaloo coast is one of the only places in Australia and possibly the world where you can explore the coral reef this close to the shore. It makes for the perfect location to spend time as a family exploring the underwater world. Digging ourselves out of soft sand became our daily workout routine as we continued to uncover the hotspots of the West Australian Coral Coast. As we continued south, visiting iconic locations along the way, we eventually pulled up in Busselton, south of Perth, and it was the first time in almost a year that we'd stayed in one place for more than just a few days as we realised we needed to take a break from travel, but only for a little bit. The following 12 months were one of the most chaotic periods that we've ever experienced. From a family member unexpectedly developing a life-threatening medical condition while we were on the opposite side of the country, to our best mates drowning their four-wheel drive on Gari, there was plenty that didn't go to plan. Taking your home on wheels onto the biggest sand island in the world is one of the most nerve-wracking and exhilarating experiences you can have. We're so glad we pushed ourselves to do it, and it remains one of our travel highlights. Back on the mainland, we had to pinch ourselves after being invited to film a TV series as we travelled through tropical North Queensland, before making a sudden U-turn to head south to spend winter in the mountains. Snowboarding's another shared passion of ours, and being able to do it while camping amongst the snow gums and with our kids is absolutely an incredible experience. There's something special about these mountains that's hard to describe, but they've always made us feel at home. Fast forward now to 2023 when we kicked off a 3-month tour of Tassie. Arriving in the Apple Isle meant we'd now visited every state and territory in Australia, and in many ways we'd saved the best for last. When we got back to the mainland, we picked up our brand new caravan and set off to install some ideas that we'd been exploring that would enable us to go on more remote expeditions and stay off the grid even longer. We were deep in the outback of Queensland when we got the news that after almost 2 years of waiting, our new car was finally coming, and our travel plans were thrown into chaos, again. With the fit out of our Land Cruiser almost complete, we've got no commitments, no time frame, and we're more determined than ever to give our family a life filled with experiences. So strap in, because we're only just getting started.
Well, what an adventure it's been. So in that 1,000 days that we've been on the road, we've done over 73,000 kilometres so far, and we're still going. There's still plenty more to come.
I reckon you've driven 72,500 of those kilometres, and I've done about 500 of them though.
Yeah, not quite. And we've been able to raise a heap of money for charity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of my favourite things about what we do. From day one, charity was always a big part of what we wanted to achieve, and with your help from watching the ads and the fundraising events through Push Up Challenge and Movember, we've been able to raise over $18,000 for charity.
Unreal.
Which is unreal. Thank you so much for your support, for watching those ads and for jumping on our campaigns. We absolutely love you guys. You are the best. When everyone does a little bit, it makes such a huge difference, and we cannot thank you enough for your support.
Yeah, that's right. And if you'd like to donate our current campaign, which is the Movember campaign this year, there's a link in the description below. And thank you to all of you that have already done that. Cheers.
All right, we got to ask a question. What are our top favourite free camps around the country?
Yeah, look, this is a tough one. It's interesting when you're trying to pick favourites of anything, camps included, and particularly camps, because we were talking about this off camera, where often a campsite can be really, really good because of what's around it or near it rather than the campsite itself. And it's like gravel pits and just little free camps that are nothing special have often been up there as a favourite camp because of what's near it. And sometimes,
or who's with you.
Or who's with you, the people that are there. Or the other thing is sometimes where it is and where you've been. Like a lot of these places, if you just teleported in or transported in, you'd probably look around and go, what are they raving about? Why is this place so special? But when, for example, you reach Edith Falls, yeah. When you reach Edith Falls in the NT after spending, like we did, about 3 months out in the dust and the dirt in the outback, and there's grass.
It was green grass. Oh my gosh.
And a swimming hole. I mean, that place was literally an oasis and a paradise compared to where we'd been. It's not a free camp, I should say. So, look, favourite free camps for me, I think the best one, Swim Cart Beach in Tassie is a highlight, definitely. That one stands out for us on the east coast of Tassie there.
Yep.
What else stands out to you?
I've got a list.
Oh, you got a list?
I got a list, yeah. So
I'm going off the top of my head.
I know, I came prepared. Betty's Beach in Albany in WA.
Yep.
James Price Point on Dampier Peninsula. Neil's Bend on the Murray River.
Yep.
Thredbo Diggings in Kosciuszko National Park. That has a $6 booking fee, but it is free to stay there. Swim Cart, which you've mentioned. Parachilna Gorge in the Flinders Ranges. Murty, which is on the old Strzelecki track.
Yeah, it's a cracker.
That's a cracker.
On the edge of the Strzelecki Desert.
Yeah. The Pentecost River up in the Kimberley. Fink 2 Mile in the West Macdonald Ranges, Boggy Hole Track, which is Red Centre, and Notch Point for Queensland.
Yeah, that's a good list. I'd add one to that actually that we didn't have on that list, is that camping along the Blaring Dam there, south of Tumut, between Tumut and Annaminibee. There's some really great freshwater camping there.
All right, so for a lot of people, travelling around Australia is a dream, but the hardest part is actually getting started and financing it. So the question we got asked was, how did we afford it?
Yeah, look, I think before I get too much into how we afford it, I think it's important to say that we're in the very, very small minority of people, in that I think although the majority of people that you guys would be familiar with and see out there travelling is people who are doing a similar thing to us and generating some income by creating content like what you're watching at the moment. We obviously generate some income from this. Although that's most of what you see, it's a very small amount of the travelling community. For most people, they kick off with savings. Most people start with some amount of savings, but then if you want to top up the travel fund, we've seen a pretty big variety of how people generate income.
We see a lot of people working remotely and working part-time. So maintaining their regular profession, but scaling back to a 40% load or a 60% load, working 2 or 3 days a week.
And the other one is obviously seasonal work or work that you find out there on the road.
Absolutely. So there's lots of stations, there's lots of farms, there's lots of, everyone is crying out for people to come and work for them. Trades especially, like if you've got any trade.
To be honest, I think your attitude. If you're willing to have a crack at anything, there's so much work out there that you can get into.
That's how we see most people doing it, but us personally, we want to share our story as well with you. So how did we do it, Simon? How did we end up here?
Yeah, so we started off like most people with savings. I mean, like anyone, we just kicked off. We sold our house and we reinvested some of that money, and then used some of that money to buy the car and the caravan and get set up, and then had some travel money set aside. And then, obviously started creating content. And so now we've built our business off the back of the YouTube channel and the other content we do. We get some direct revenue from YouTube. Every month YouTube pays us, and that's where we take 10% of that and donate that to charity. And that's just from you guys watching the ads. So any ads that you get served when you watch our channel, the more of that you watch, the more money we generate and the more we're able to donate to charity.
Another thing that we do behind the scenes that you guys don't often see is we create content for other brands to use on their social media channels. So we've been doing a lot more of it recently, where we've been creating ads and content and selling footage that we've collated over the years and selling that to other brands.
Another one is direct support that we get through Patreon. So that Patreon is just a platform where audience members like you can jump on and support us financially, just for a small contribution each month. And it supports us, but it also then gives those people a bit more direct access to us. So for people that want to have a bit more direct access to us, a bit more behind the scenes sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we love having meetups with those guys whenever we're in major cities as well. So that's always nice.
So yeah, if that's something that interests you, there's a link in the description below for that as well. But we know that's not for everyone, but there is certainly some people out there that really suits. So we're happy to be able to do that. So there are a few of our main income streams, and the last one is really affiliate and discount codes. We've actually listed all our discount codes in one place now on our website, so there's a link in the description below for that, and you can head over there and see all the different discount codes that we have. We go to those brands and say, hey, look, is there anything you can do for our audience members to help them out as well? And you guys get a discount, and then we get a kickback every time that code's used. So any of those discount codes you see thrown around by content creators, there is definitely something in it for them. They get a little kickback every time you buy. So it's a bit of a win-win. You save a bit of money, we get a little kickback. It helps support us. It's really just all of those things added together is enough. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough to keep the dream alive and keep us going.
Yeah, we certainly don't need to earn anywhere near as much as we did when we were in a house and had rent to pay as well.
Our costs are a lot lower.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. The next question we got asked was, what are the biggest challenges that you face travelling full-time as a family?
Yeah, look, there's a few, or there's quite a few. Schooling's are definitely a challenge with the kids. And the weather is probably another one that stands out to me, is just constantly sort of having to adjust your plans. Because of the weather, you can have the best laid plans and they get washed out, or it's windy, or it's hot, or whatever it might be. And
there's bushfires, you've got to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah, they're definitely some that stick out to me. What sticks out to you?
I think it's probably that dealing with adversity and adverse situations when you're, like, say, bogged.
We've done that a few times.
And you've got to you got to think your way through things calmly and communicate carefully with each other so that you don't end up, you've got to maintain a relationship with that person that you're living in a small 20-foot box with for the rest of the time you're together.
I think that's actually probably one of the other challenges is just that many people in a small space. We absolutely love it and it suits our family, but it's not 100% of the time. There's definitely times where it becomes a bit too much having that many people in a small space, but it's just being aware of that.
I would say the other biggest challenge is seriously the bugs. The bugs are next level. Honestly, even now, we've got flies crawling all over us, trying to get them.
We had a question about that, didn't we?
Yeah, so I would say dealing with the bugs is a serious issue because if you're frustrated, bugs just get under your skin and then you're like...
Well, you can't enjoy a place.
No.
Particularly if they're biting bugs like mozzies or midgies.
Or what are those march flies?
Oh, yeah, the big horse flies or march flies, whatever you call them.
Yeah. Most general bug sprays work well for flies and mozzies, I would say.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people these days that don't want to spray that stuff all over them. And I get that, but unfortunately it is effective and sometimes it's the only thing that's effective.
Yeah.
We've never tried thermocells and things like that. We've tried mozzie coils a few times. I think they probably smell good and there's a bit of nostalgia there for me when I was growing up. But
more ambience than anything else.
I think there's just times you just got to accept you just can't do anything about it and you just got to retreat inside the caravan, and there's certainly times we've done that. But then you still get bugs in the van sometimes, or all the time. Every van we've had, both vans I should say we've had, and our camper trailer and swags and everything.
Absolutely.
It's just part and parcel. If you want to live in the outdoors, there's going to be bugs.
Favourite moments from life on the road? What are your absolute highlights from our travel?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I always say to people that I think the best things about travel is it's like the side benefits or the things that you wouldn't expect. It's the people that we get to meet and interact with on almost a daily basis, whether that be other travellers or locals and just the unplanned stuff is always the best stuff. If you just have a good attitude and go out there having a bit of fun and just put yourself out there, so to speak, there's so many awesome, friendly people there, and the people that we've met, the diversity of people that we've met that we would never meet in everyday life, I think is by far the biggest benefit to travel.
Absolutely. I'm going to say completely on a different note, I reckon my favourite moments have been when James hiked the bread knife in the Warrumbungles. That was a 12K hike for him. I was so proud of him. And when we saw the whales when we were sailing, that was just... my heart is still I get all thinking about it. Harrison's first ever snorkel in the ocean. And he got a Ningaloo Reef and he got to pat a turtle. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's just life experiences that you could never even dream of. So yeah.
Yeah, I
reckon it's stuff like that just makes your heart sing and
Yeah, I think on that, I think apart from the people we meet, it's the getting to see the kids grow up, spend this much time together as a family. We're such a tight family unit. The kids are so tight. They've only got each other a lot of the time as playmates. Although we did get a question on that. I should touch on that while we're here. We did get a question about how we go with the challenge of the kids making friends, good long-term friends of the same ages and things like that. We actually look at it the other way around. We actually really like that the kids make friends with kids of all different ages and some adults as well. They're really good mates with some adults that they hit it off with. So we really like that they get a bit of diversity in their sort of social network as well. But I think whatever you do in life, your kids are going to miss out on something. And you just got to look at what you are giving them rather than what you're not, because you can't ever give them everything, every experience and everything under the sun. My kids are missing out on sailing around the world on a yacht for now.
Weekend sports,
they miss out on weekend sports. There's things that, there's always going to be things. So, we just focus on what we are giving them rather than what they're not getting. For now, with our kids' ages, it's not an issue. It's working out really well.
All right, so another question we got asked, which was an absolute cracker and had us scratching our heads for a little while, was, if you had your time again, what would you do differently?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The first thing that came to my mind is travel slower. Slow down, travel less, see more, spend more time in places. Particularly in our first sort of 9 to 12 months, we went at what we thought was slow. We thought it was slow and we were taking our time. In hindsight, it was a cracking pace. We barely spent more than 2 or 3 nights in any one place and we're just ripping through. But, I mean, I guess that happens.
Chasing seasons.
You're chasing seasons. You're caught up in the excitement of it all. It's a novelty and everything, but that's not sustainable. We sort of realised after about 9 or 10 months we were pretty well burnt out physically and mentally and everything, just because we were going at such a cracking pace. So, I mean, if you've only got 10 or 12 months to travel, then go nuts. But I still would encourage, no matter what your time frame is, whether it's short, long, or indefinite, travel slower and just plan to do less. Don't try and do it all in one hit. I don't know about, I'm not a big one on this sort of trip of a lifetime sort of stuff. Just if travel is something you enjoy, just make it part of your everyday life and try and do it as regularly as you can. But less is more. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you do differently? Or have you
I've got nothing.
Okay,
I've got nothing.
All right, so we had a few other questions that we're going to throw into a bit of a quick fire, rapid fire questions
Yeah.
just to try and get through them all. And then up next will be details on how you can win that Bluetti power station as well. Looking forward to that. All right, so why did we get a 76 and not a 2 or 300? I like everything about a 70 series that everyone hates. I love rugged. I love their basic. I love that they're old school. I love that you can do heaps to them. They're a really great platform for customization, and I love the amount of payload that we've been able to get by modifying it to the way we wanted. Here's one for you, Liz. How did the water maker go?
The water maker is installed. We haven't tested it yet.
No, that's a bit of an indication of how busy we are.
Yep.
Yep. It's coming soon though. Like
Well,
everything.
once we get over to WA and we're on the coast, we'll run it.
What ongoing checks and van maintenance do we do? I just check the basics, tyre pressures, obviously. I rarely lift the bonnet, if I'm completely honest, nowhere near as much as I probably should for checking for things under there. Just a quick visual check every time before I hit the road. I do a walk around, I look underneath, just make sure there's no oil leaking from suspension and things like that. I really do very little, if I'm completely honest. Don't go with my advice.
Yes, do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah. James Ponty wants to know the winning lotto numbers.
Yeah, 18, 19, 4, 16, 4, and...
Nailed it.
No, I don't know. If I know, I'll go your halves.
Scariest moments.
Ooh, I got freaked out one night.
Yeah, I was going to say this one.
I got freaked out one night. We were in the middle of absolutely nowhere. We'd driven to a phone tower.
It was near Karratha.
Near Karratha. We were camped up off the side of the road underneath a phone tower, uploading a YouTube episode overnight. And as I was going to bed, I saw these like lanterns in the distance, and
It was a light.
it was a light, and it kept coming closer towards us, and then it would turn off, and then you couldn't see it. And it was at the time when there was a couple of things going on in WA. There was a little girl missing, and it was not a good time. And I did not sleep. I did not sleep at all that
She's
night.
trying to defend herself. There was nothing but a light in the distance, and she completely freaked herself out and thought there was an axe murderer coming to get us. But it was, well, we don't know, but it was nothing. We woke up fine.
We're alive.
We're still
We're
here.
all alive.
Are the kids beat to bits of travelling? Absolutely not. They love it. They don't know any different, really. They've grown up with it. I mean, James was 2, Harrison was only just 5 when we left. So, he turned 5 just as we left. So, yeah, no, they love it. I don't think they'd trade it for anything. Yeah. What's stuff that we thought we needed but no longer have?
Shoes is definitely something we're constantly culling. I'm down to 3 pairs, but I usually only wear 2, boots and like slides.
Yeah, I'm thongs and boots.
Yeah. I thought I would need sandals. I thought I would need a nice pair of going out shoes. No, I don't.
We had runners. We both had runners when we left, or sneakers, whatever you want to call them.
I just wear my boots now.
Kids a little bit more because they trash them, like they go and walk in mud and then they've written off a pair of shoes. So the kids have gum boots each, thongs, and but shoes, clothes in general, a lot less clothes. Safety and communications when remote. We've actually done a whole episode on this, so I'm not going to go into this at all. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll put a little thing just up here or there. I can't remember which side it goes. I think it goes up there to go and watch that one after this. It was part of our off-grid series. We cover everything to do with that. Safety and security and everything, so go in and watch that. Best gadget you couldn't live without.
Have you got one?
I got to say the Thermomix.
Ooh, yeah.
Like the Thermomix it just means we carry, it's big, it's bulky, and it's a little bit heavy, but it replaces or does the needs of so many things. I think the Thermomix, because we could nearly that could be our only cooking and we'd get by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and eat healthy still and eat good food.
Yeah, and it allows you to buy fewer ingredients.
Yeah.
And store less. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really helped us.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, all right, we'll leave it at that then. Okay, so Cheryl Ray's asked about caravan insurance, how we go with that, living full time, and any recommendations and stuff. Our last van was insured with CIL. This one's insured with KT Insurance. I'd recommend either of them. The only reason we didn't go with CIL this time is they wouldn't insure the value of our caravan. They have a maximum of $150,000 that they'll go to. But we do add extra contents cover to our insurance as well because we live in it. But make sure that, you check with your insurer that the kids are back. Yeah, make sure you check with your insurer that they will cover you for travelling full time. H wants to say hello. Yeah, but that's my tip with insurance.
Yeah, I reckon
What's
you
your
can.
favourite thing about travelling?
What?
That our backyard always changes.
That your backyard always changes. That's a good one. What do you love about travelling, James?
That we get to go to different beaches.
You get to go to
Different beaches.
Yeah, Exhibit A. Someone else asked, have you had enough of travelling? Do you want to stop travelling or you want to keep going?
Keep going.
Why?
Because if we stop travelling, then our backyard will stay the same.
Someone else asked on YouTube how far ahead we plan and what's our plan, mainly financially, for when we finish travelling. If you want to know about how far ahead we plan, again, we did a whole video on this as part of our off-grid series. So again, I'll put a little thing up there. You can click on that, or there'll be a link in the description below. There's going to be a lot of links in the description below, so make sure you check through that if there's any more information you want. As for what we're going to do when we finish, as we talked about with the finances side of things, when we sold our house to travel, we did invest some of that money so that we've got some money set aside to get back into the real estate market if that's something we want to do. Beyond that, we don't think too much about it. We
have more ideas than we know what to do with, basically.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, basically. We don't stress about that sort of stuff too much. It might be irresponsible, but to hell with it. It's this is how we want to live, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
We've made money before, we'll do it again.
Yeah, they're still printing it, I'm pretty sure. Here it is, our giveaway, the Bluetti AC70, brand new to the Australian market. These get released on December 7, I believe, but you can get your hands on one from us. All you have to do, leave us a comment below, let us know where you'd take a Bluetti and what you would do with it and why you need one as part of your camping kit. This AC70, it's the baby brother basically to the AC200 that you've seen us testing out over the past couple of months, but it's still got a 1000-watt inverter. You still got your DC input so you can charge it from the car, AC input for when you're charging it at home, a couple of 240-volt outlets because it does have a built-in 1000-watt inverter, a couple of USBs and these really cool high power high output USB-Cs that will go up to 100 watts, lithium battery built in. It's also got a built-in solar controller so you can charge it up off a solar panel like this one when you're out and about on your camping adventures. So as I said, all you need to do to enter is leave us a comment below and let us know where you'd take your Bluetti. The winner will be drawn on December 7 on our Instagram and our YouTube. That will be announced. We'll be doing a little video for that. It is open to Australian residents only, and good luck. If you don't fancy your chances or you do want to grab something else from the Bluetti website, I'd recommend jumping on now. Black Friday sales are on now, huge savings on their website. All the details are in the description below. Something else I wanted to quickly touch on is the content and what's been happening with our content lately. Obviously, there's been a lot of content about our Land Cruiser of late as we've been stuck well into that build. There will be a video coming out next week, just the final stages of the interior fit out before we set off for WA, and then we've got a heap of travel content coming up. We can't wait to get out traveling, and we aren't going to build another car for a very long time, so we're enjoying that process, but we will be back out to those travels very shortly.
Yeah, we're as keen for it as you are, trust us.
It's getting to us as well. We're getting itchy feet. We can't wait to get out there. Thanks for watching heaps, guys. Don't forget about all those links in the description below. Good luck with the Bluetti giveaway. Can't wait to give that one away. That's a ripper prize, that one. And we'll see you guys next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.